So Sam Darnold said the New York Jets made a mistake by trading him. We're going to talk about it. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary, back with another video, and today I'm talking about Sam Darnold's quotes from the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY, and if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the Just Jets podcast. Last but not least, the Patreon bonus content for you. A $5 a month subscription gets you player write-ups, Jets analytics, mock draft Mondays, and so much more. Thank you for checking it out. Much appreciated. So Sam Darnold made a podcast appearance this past week, and it was interesting. I watched, not the whole thing, but I kind of skimmed through and saw a bunch of clips on social media, and it's complicated. My feelings on Sam Darnold are very complicated. Contrary to popular belief, everyone assumed, just I guess either they were new in 2020, that I just hated Sam Darnold forever. That's not the case. I don't even think that I hate Sam Darnold right now. I just thought it was in the Jets' best interest to move on based on everything that we saw through 3 years of Sam Darnold. That's where my take came from during the 2020 season, where the Jets were losing on their way to go 2-14 and getting a top 2 pick in the NFL draft. But nonetheless, Sam Darnold on the podcast said that he told Joe Douglas and the New York Jets that they are making a mistake by trading him. Now, what I'm going to go through today is if it was really a mistake or not. And the irony here is that just a couple of days ago, I think a day before the podcast episode dropped, was the 1-year anniversary of the trade. So if you don't remember, the New York Jets traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers and in return got a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th round pick. The 6th round pick was in the 2021 class. It turned into Jason Pinnock, and round 2 and round 4 pick is this year. So we have no idea who those two players are, but the 2nd rounder is a top 40 pick in the NFL draft, which, fingers crossed, is either going to lead to a very good player or they're going to trade that pick for an established player or maybe package it to move up. Nonetheless, the anticipation is high because you got a premium asset back for a quarterback. Now, with Sam Darnold, the Carolina Panthers decided to give him the 5th-year option because in their eyes, they couldn't go into year 4, not give him the option, and then potentially lose him. So they took that gamble and said, all right, we're going to gamble that it works out and we'll give you the 5th-year option. So his cap hit for this year is $18.6 million. If the Jets kept him last year, they were probably going to be in a similar boat. It was either, do you give him the 5th-year option or do you not? And it was probably smarter not to give him because he was such a big question mark. And I guess you could have franchise tagged him after that if he did have a breakout year. But the issue is the franchise tag is so high. So moral of the story, it was a very big gamble at the time, and we're seeing right now why. Because the Carolina Panthers are in a tough spot. They have a quarterback on the roster who's making almost $20 million. And year 4 Sam Darnold last year, here are the numbers. 59.9 completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 210.6 yards per game, a 71.9 rating, 6.2 yards per attempt, and missed 5 games due to injury. So in all 4 years of his career, missed time due to injury or mono, unfortunately, in 2019. So if you did make that decision like the Carolina Panthers did, now Carolina is picking 6th in this year's draft, and they have a very difficult decision. Do you take an offensive lineman with someone who you know that is not the long-term answer in Sam Darnold, or do you take a quarterback in a not very good quarterback class when last year you were in a spot where you could have drafted a Mac Jones, you could have drafted a Justin Fields, and they, couldn't because they decided to go a different direction. Instead, they spent the 8th pick on J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn's probably going to be a very good player in the NFL, but it's a cornerback, and you had Justin Fields if you wanted him there. You had Mac Jones if you wanted him there, but anyway, it kind of goes. The Carolina Panthers have kind of turned into what the Jets could have turned into if they decided to keep him, because now you're in limbo, and you either want to be all in and be in on a quarterback who has a fighting chance to be a top 15 guy. And like, even if Zach Wilson doesn't pan out, because it is a possibility, I don't believe that to be the case. I think he is going to be the answer at the quarterback position. But if he doesn't, even if he doesn't, it was still the right call because you took that swing on the quarterback position. You can't win in this league if you don't take a massive swing on the quarterback position. And Joe Douglas, who didn't draft Sam Darnold, was not going to put his stock as a GM into the Sam Darnold basket, where you are in lockstep with your quarterback for in most cases with general managers. And obviously Mike Maccagnan was the one who took Sam Darnold. The Jets decided to move on from Maccagnan and the head coach Todd Bowles a year after he was drafted, which is just that the timing of everything is so effed up. But finally, it seems like you have now a GM, a coach, and a quarterback all on the same timeline, which is a good thing. So, and like, even if it doesn't work out, the logic behind having your general manager, the coach, and the quarterback all on the same timeline makes significantly more sense than trying to run it back with another GM's guy. So I don't think the Jets made a mistake by trading him. Now, I understand like that's the mindset that you have to have as a quarterback. He also said that he believes he's proved himself to be a good quarterback in this league. I don't think that to be the case. If it was me, I guess if I was in his shoes, I would have said maybe something like, I believe in myself. I think I could play at this level. I know I can play at this level, something along those lines, and rather saying, I think I proved something that he most definitely didn't. So there it is. Yeah, that was a big storyline going around on the internet yesterday. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents into the mix. So no, I don't think the New York Jets made a mistake by trading Sam Darnold. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is my take on, even if it doesn't work out with Zach Wilson, was it still the right decision, or should they have traded back and drafted Penei Sewell? And yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you next time.